All right, we're going to go ahead and get started here. For our last session of the day, we have Nimit here, and he's going to talk about future-proofing authentication. We will do questions at the end, and we'll use the mic there in the middle. You're also free to submit questions through the app if that's easier for you. So Nimit, take it away.
Cool. Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending this session. Just a quick introduction. I'm Nimit Shah, a software engineer at Chime, where I work on the trust and safety team. And I'm really excited to share with you all how we built biometric logins or authentication as a stepping stone to building Passkeys. Before I dive any further, just anyone, quick show of hands, how many of you all are still looking to build any kind of passwordless authentication at your organization? Cool, all right. I hope this talk is helpful. So those that may not be familiar, Chime is a financial technology company that's built on the premise that basic banking services should be easy, helpful, and free. Its mission is to solve the financial needs of over 150 million Americans living paycheck to paycheck, and they are not well served by the big banks. So it's pretty important for Chime to provide its members the access to their accounts 24/7, and it's my team's charter to ensure that that access is not only seamless, but secure as well. So passwords are great, right? They're awesome, I think, no? No, I'm just joking, but 34% of our members couldn't access their account on the first try. That's 1 in 3. So this is kind of like a partial breakdown of their journey after. 24% of them went ahead and reset their passwords. 17% contacted customer service for additional help. And 10% had to go through pretty cumbersome identity verification checks because there had been a recent change in their PII. So these numbers kind of reinforced our need to find an alternative. We were looking for a solution that was seamless and secure, and also like one that would help us stay compliant with the financial regulations. Anything out there? Do you all know? Is there anything ring a bell? But anyway, so 2 years ago, when we tackled this problem, we did some research on our members, their devices, their operating systems and versions, and came to the conclusion that we wouldn't be able to offer them Passkeys yet. So we decided to build biometric authentication or login, which is your device biometrics as a means to authenticate yourself as a strategy. I'm sure pretty much all of you have had the experience of Touch ID, Face ID. Most of the applications do it. And there are a few ways to implement it. We implemented ours over the WebAuthn standard, not only because it's open and secure, but it would also help us lay the groundwork for what we eventually wanted to offer our members, Passkeys. So just jumping a little bit into the technical implementation for this, and we can start with the registration. And on your left, you'd see the client side, and on the right is the server. So when a member expressed their intention to enroll in biometric authentication, we would generate a cryptographic key pair on their device, and we would fetch a challenge from the server. And using this key, we would sign this challenge and create the authenticator attestation response and format the request in the WebAuthn credential registration payload and send it to the server. Upon successful validation, we would extract the public key that was sent with the payload and store it on our end. This public key formed the basis of the credential of when the member wished to authenticate themselves next time. Diving a little bit deeper into iOS, we used Swift's native libraries to generate the key pair for us, the local authentication context to handle all the authentication prompts. And we used libraries like NodeForge and CBORX to construct the request in the WebAuthn format. For Android, we used similar Android's native libraries, and our app is written in React Native, so pretty much the code to create the WebAuthn request remained the same between the two. So now, after an enrolled member came back next time to log in, we would fetch a challenge from the server, retrieve this key, sign the challenge, and create our authenticator assertion response, which is the WebAuthn response for credential authentication, and send it to the server. We would then retrieve the stored public key and try to verify the signature. And upon successful verification, we would sign the member in. I also want to talk a little bit about the native libraries that I mentioned earlier from Swift and Android. They also allowed us to customize or fine-tune some of the access controls for this key pair. For example, we wanted our members to generate and access this key only using device biometrics, and we didn't want a fallback on the device passcode. Also, after they enrolled for biometric authentication with us, if there was any change in their biometry on their device, the key pair would be invalidated, effectively invalidating the credential. So we saw some pretty good results with this. About 70% of our members decided to opt in for biometric authentication when given the option, showing a clear preference for a passwordless authentication. Surprise, surprise. But moreover, members that used biometrics to log in were able to access their account for the first time 100% of the time. No typos. So it just went through. Also, we were a little nervous about the cryptographic operations on the client side and the server side might cause latencies. But on the contrary, members that used biometric login to access their account were able to access it 75% faster than the traditional username and password login. So these numbers kind of reinforced our need to make it more seamless and more secure. So this year, we started to implement for our members to create a passkey at Chime. And we were kind of happy with the development process. As you can see, the passkey implementation is very similar to the biometric authentication implementation, with a couple of exceptions. Pretty much all our client side was replaced by the native libraries from iOS and Android. But moreover, our server side to create and verify challenges, storing and retrieving credentials pretty much remained the same. So we were not only able to develop and test fast, but we were also able to launch fast. And today, Chime members are able to access their accounts using their passkey across multiple devices. So I wanted to kind of share a few observations. Building biometric login over WebAuthn took a little longer, but it was the right decision, and it helped us in the long term. It helped us make our authentication system future-proof, and also helped us standardize our code, which, as an engineer, I really appreciate. Also, maintaining that initial control over the access policies for the key pair allowed to create a very collaborative environment between product, risk, design, and engineering. So if you aren't ready for Passkeys yet and want to go more over like the device biometrics as a solution for now, or if you know anybody, friends, family in tech, but I would highly encourage to build it using the WebAuthn standard. It will not only make your design future-proof, but also make it ready for Passkeys so that you can use it to offer passkeys to your members whenever you are ready. So yeah, thank you so much for attending this session. I hope it was helpful. And now I'd love to see if anyone has any questions, or else, please feel free to reach out to me after too, if you'd like to deep dive on any of the details we discussed.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, if you have any questions, you can come right up to the mic. Don't have any online yet.
Hi. You mentioned some of the things about what you did pre-passkey to restrict the biometric on device, like enrollment, no fallback to passcode. Been able to keep the same restrictions after passkeys?
No, we haven't. And it's, I don't think, it's the device passcode fallback is that much of an issue. I think because when we first did this, it was our first end-to-end passwordless authentication. So, when you're working with risk and product and design, you want to make sure that, you're trying to launch it in a little bit more cautious way. So when we did launch it, we were able to get more insights from our members. We were able to, fine-tune some of our risk models. So by the time, when it came for passkeys, we didn't really felt the fallback was that much of a concern.
That's just my experience. Thanks.
Yeah.
Any other questions in the room or online? Oh, here we go. So to confirm, Chime is using sync passkeys for their customers on mobile and desktop?
So yeah, we are using it only on mobile right now. We are working to make it available on web soon. But yeah, it's hopefully soon. Hopefully soon.
Any other questions? Going once? Twice? All right. Well, thank you for the presentation.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, and looking forward to the passwordless party.
Yeah.